Ma'am, you mentioned about ease of doing business in Gujarat, and I've read this countless times. In fact, we made a case study on Gujarat, and we often found out that a lot of entrepreneurs have given a statement publicly saying that it is very easy for us to set up our factories in Gujarat versus in any other state. In fact, Ratan Tata ji himself gave out a statement that while many other states were offering Tata lands, it was only Gujarat that was not just offering but also kept the land ready, and that was because of the land banking system in Gujarat. Man, why is it that we have not been able to scale the land banking system all across the country, ma'am? Why only
Well, I
Gujarat?
wouldn't think you're right in that. There are many states which went ahead with land banking system, keeping certain demarcated areas ready for industry who will come forward, and so on. But what is the distinction between what Gujarat's approach is as regards the others compared to Gujarat is consistently they are doing it.
Oh, okay.
Whereas in other states, take the example of Maharashtra. After all, the same bullet train was approved in Maharashtra as well to be one of the terminal points for it. The other terminal point in Gujarat, and it runs partly through Gujarat and comes partly through parts of northern Maharashtra and reach Mumbai.
Yeah.
It was approved.
Okay.
It was all cleared. Japanese came in a big way, both for the technology and for building the quality that is required for the track laying, for the bridges which are going to hold them, and everything else. But what happened? With a change of government, that particular agreement or understanding was put in the back burner. So, from the terminal point in Gujarat till almost the border of Maharashtra, the work was almost two-thirds complete. But they had to halt, they couldn't come further here because Maharashtra changed its approach to the project. Now, a project like that, which involves overseas investors, overseas technology, having agreed, and a central government which is working to get these overseas, because most of the overseas loans, when they come to the states for their projects, but the guarantor is the central government. Now, if with all this done, suddenly when a change of government happens, and for you, for political considerations, you say it's not required for me, the impact it has on the overall approach to making investment in India attractive just falls flat. All right. Then again, with a change of government, that is getting restored. All right.
Okay.
Now, what happens to the overall completion of project?
It gets
What
delayed.
happens to that portion of the project which got delayed and its cost escalations?
Yeah.
What happens to the loans that you have to pay back? What happens to the timeline that this business is going to become revenue neutral, or you're making your ends meet and there is no loss per se, and you enter the stage where you can start making profit? Everything gets pushed. So when you say, you took the example of land bank alone, I take it as even the attitude towards development, attitude towards economic benefits, and the collaterals arising out of a positive approach towards economy as opposed to disruptive, for want of a better word, disruptive approach. Governments run in continuity. Economy has, it's like building, let us say, a dam or a mansion or a house or even a small kutir that you want to build. You lay the foundation and then start doing something. Even as you lay the foundation, if you say, no, I'm not laying it for one floor above, I just want the ground, although the whole understanding is you want the whole thing done completely, it affects everything that you think in terms of businesses. So, states, not just for land bank, but understanding this principle that governments are in continuity, and you cannot, for such major things, take a decision which is completely going to turn upside down decisions taken earlier. Okay, So, if that is the example that I've taken to explain, not just in land banks, but in general, governments being in continuity, you have to go ahead with some of the decisions, however much you may disapprove of it, because they have been already taken. So, if this is about decisions, there's one other point which is necessary to add here. So, not only the government in continuity, economy also runs in continuity.
Correct.
Unless you give it enough leeway, you cannot change a decision. You can always now pit a question against me or on me to answer, saying, after all, India has been a socialist economy all these years.
Yeah.
We've had public sector undertakings. We've had a lot of investment in running big companies by Government of India. Why would you therefore, because going by that economy is a continuity, government is a continuity argument, why would you want to go ahead with privatization? In 2021, I'm glad to say I was part of this government when we took a call on public sector enterprises policy, whereby we said it cannot any longer be the prerogative of government alone to be in one area of business. Every area of business should be available for private sector also to be in. All right, government will have to be in some sectors which are strategically important for us. One example of that is communication. And unless you have government services in these sectors, communication is one example, you will not be able to reach the border areas, provide telecom facilities there, because the private sector would say that area doesn't give me enough profit, so I won't go there. You
Yeah.
need. Therefore, strategically, there can be 3 or 4 areas, and we said that'll be about only that much, where the government will also have to be present. It cannot be only government will be present. We want the efficiency of the private sector, so we opened it up. Now, therefore, even for that, 1991 is claimed to be the time when we had opening up of the Indian economy.
Yeah.
But even then, this privatization point was not really worked upon. It had to take its own time. But government here now under Prime Minister Modi said it's high time we have to open this up. And look at the result it has borne. Space sector, abuzz with private interests, investment, private talent, young people wanting to do a lot of work in launching satellites, either in the lower orbit or even the higher. It has brought in such a lot of synergy that India, even as it was standing as a leader in economy-driven space launches. Now, it's even more efficient.
Yeah.
You're able to send the smallest satellite to the lowest orbit and send a satellite which is just going to monitor your land resources, your water, the groundwater table, and so on. So you really made that sector vibrant. So that is the kind of change, even as you emphasize on continuity.
Very interesting, ma'am. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for watching the Indian Business Podcast. If you find value in our work, please hit that subscribe button, because for you, it might be a zero effort task. But for us, that subscriber count is an important instrument to get great guests to our podcast and to make this podcast better for you. So if you find value, please subscribe.